Hi, Soul Tribe. Welcome to this episode, The Magic of Mind Movies. So, this will be one of where I'll sort of take you through a how to or step by step, but we'll also talk about the importance of why mind movies really can make a difference in your manifestation journey. And I can see some gorgeous Soul Tribe family here. Thank you for joining us, guys. You might hear Lyra running amok in the background. She's in a hyper mood. She's just started going outside exploring a little bit for the first time. So she wants to go back outside. And just sending my thoughts and prayers out to those of you that have been affected by the crazy uh, weather creations that have happened at the moment. I'm so relieved to see that some of my beautiful clients and really good friends are also safe. But yeah, my heart goes out to other people. And Vicky, I'm so glad to see you're safe too. I was wondering with the other stories I'm hearing of fires in the mountains and things too. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I did pull cards to have a look into why it is that Spirit was guiding me to talk about this. And I see, Tim, you're probably at work, so thank you. We will see you on the replay. So the cards that I've got, the abundance card. So this is probably the biggest reason why Spirit was pushing us to tap into this. So this is coming together with mind and also with intuition and emotion for me. With the Three of Cups, can you guys hear Lyra in the background? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear her. But yeah, what we can see with this is abundance. So it's obviously to get a strong emotional connection and foundation is why we're wanting to work with things like mind movies. And I'll go into people that have worked with it in the past too. The other one that we see is a Five of Wands. So if we're looking at these, a Five of Wands, I'm just hearing from Spirit, is intrusive thoughts. So this is the one that you guys know Spirit and I nickname Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen. So we've got Saturn and Leo. So think about your mind in regards to manifestation, and we put out that vision of what we want, or we put out that thought, and then you get those intrusive thoughts that come in. So a mind movie is a great way to overcome intrusive thoughts. It's a really good way to, oh, you guys can hear her. She's so funny. But yeah, a Five of Wands represents sort of stagnancy. What's interesting is we're seeing one sort of like central pathway and then the crossover effect too. So it really does matter to do with like if we're in logic or if we're in the right side of the brain. So there are a few techniques that I'll show today that will help to sort of, I guess, calm your logic, because that's the thing. We want to put ourselves into a state of hypnosis when working with mind movies. And we're also wanting to plant suggestions into the right creative side of the brain, which, if you remember from other shows, the left side is the one that sort of, puts things down, or, we put suggestions in. Hey, Corey, thank you. So yeah, what we find is left brain is the one that will analyze, it's analytical, it's really just interested in data and facts. So if you're in this kind of mindset of, oh my gosh, I have like my dream life, your left side of the brain is like, no, you don't. So what we want to do is quieten that, put ourselves into sort of a state of hypnosis, or to use these mind movies to relax us, to reprogram through the right side, which is the one that's susceptible and the one that will hypnotically be programmed. So we have Six of Swords was the other card that came up. Not only does this card represent going on a journey, oh, you switched to YouTube. So what we can see as well with this, it's Mercury and Aquarius energy. So for me, this card is that veil card of where we're starting to work with things on the quantum. It is the card of science as well. And I just want to bring up this little window that I've got here. So on Soul Alchemy Potions, so I've just clicked on Abundance Potion since that was the one that came up today as well. So this might be something that our beautiful Soul Tribe and Collective is working with. And there's a few reviews I noticed on here this morning. We've got one from the lovely Lisa and one from Tim. Oh, and there's a photo one there as well. I didn't notice that one this morning. It's a little bit harder to see, but it looks like he's brewed, might be cleansing vibes in the background. Thank you, Tim and Lisa, for posting that. I appreciate that. So what you'll see if you scroll down when you click on any of the potions, I do have the science behind it. So let me just read this. So this is one of my favorite quotes that I've put here as well. So it's a Tony Robbins quote, and it says, "It's not what we do once, it's what we do that shapes our lives. It's what we do with consistency. So this is really connected to do with this 66 days. So when the scientists were studying how long it takes to commit to a thought process or to commit to something that you're changing, whether it's a habit, whether it's manifestation, on average, it takes about 66 days. So some people were hitting things in like 28 days, others in 128. So 66 is the average. So as Tony Robbins said as well, it's about consistency. So think about this with what we're going to delve into today with the mind movies, that if you are going to make one, and I'll teach you about how to do that, that you want to keep up that repetition. So what I also like is including it with a ritual, because you guys know I'm big into my potions. So I would be including it with Vision Quest for nighttime. And then I would align with it in the morning, whatever potion really goes well with it. So that you're kind of, sitting, relaxing with this atmosphere of the tea, which is helping to calm the logic. And it's about locking things in. So for me, the warmth of holding the tea and the aroma, as well as listening to the music with my mind movie and watching the pictures, will help me to lock it in. So let me read this to you guys, what I've written here. So embark on a profound journey of quantum transformation with solar alchemy potions, where the principles of manifestation converge with the mysteries of quantum physics in the quantum realm. Where the observer shapes reality, every intention holds the potential to manifest into physical form. As quantum physics suggests, it takes approximately 66 days to anchor new patterns into the quantum field, creating ripples of transformation throughout the cosmos, throughout sacred practice of drinking soul alchemy potions. It assists you to align your consciousness with the quantum fabric of the universe, harnessing the power of intention to shape your reality. And that's really like what I'm a geek for, is how can we shape our reality to sort of fit the person that we are? But in fact, and I've written, let me just find my little quote that I've also got. So also Dr. Joe talks about, so Dr. Joe Dispenza, what people find is it's not what people get. So it's not that you get, this amazing crystal at the end of the journey. It's who you become. Who are you when you have these things that you're manifesting? So I want you to keep that in mind too, while you're creating your beautiful mind movie. I want you to be thinking about what photos could you pick. So let's dive into the mind movie side of things, and I'll just see if there was something else that I needed to share with you guys. Oh, that's right. So we have coming up on the weekend the mystical soul readings, which will be on your Saturday if you're in the northern hemisphere, and it'll be on Sunday if you're here in the southern hemisphere as well. So let's get started with looking a little bit into mind movies. I've just got to flip over some of my text so that I can get the sound coming up for you guys. And this one, I won't start it from the start. It is a Dr. Joe Dispenza Kaleidoscope plus mind movie. And then they've instilled money magnet things into it. So with mind movies, essentially what you're doing is creating a moving vision board with the kaleidoscope technique, which you guys can add. And there is kaleidoscope specific websites that have these, hypnotic patterns. And that's what they're doing. They're using a hypnotic pattern to calm that left logical, analytical side of the mind. And then you play your mind movie. So you guys know that we talk about on this show, breath work to also help to calm, when we're working with meditation or manifestation. So doing that box cyclical breathing. So what that looks like is breathing in for the count of 4, hold for 4, breathing out for 4, and then hold for 4, and then repeating. So breathing in for 4 and hold. So what I'm going to do is play just before it kicks into the mind movie, so you can get a little sample and see what this is like. So you can see how this is quite easily very hypnotic. And let me jump into the next part just to show you guys. So then it heads into from kaleidoscope. into the actual vision board affirmation part. So you're utilizing music, you're utilizing creating that emotion, that feeling, and then visual affirmations. Okay, so that can be quite powerful, but where it is more powerful is if you actually create your own. So let me close off a few windows. So I've actually got, let me see if I can bring it up on my phone, and I'll bring it up here so you can see. This would be, there's a few different apps and things. Mine's actually just popped up now. See, it's 11:11 here, and I didn't plan for that. Um, See how it says manifesting every day in every way. I'm getting better and better. So this is, there you go. So you can see there that it helps to have like little reminders. So this app that I'm going to show you called Manifesty, I'm not an affiliate in any way. It's just after years and years of sort of studying the research and looking into things, this is the one that I find that just suits my personality and everything too. And it has all of the different things that I love, whether it's, you know, the meditations that are attached. It just seems to have everything. And it was really, really easy to use. So I think this was about $100 a year to use this. It definitely is well worth it. I've already manifested things that I put more towards like March, and they're already coming true. So, and I might show you one of them, but you can see here. So you've got your vision board, your affirmations, meditation, future feed. So let me show you a few different ones on here. So you'll be able to read more when you go into it. But I'll just bring this up. And if I click into, you'll see that they just appear on here. So if we click into this, and you'll be able to see what it looks like. Hopefully I don't have too much glare coming. And you'll see here, you've got your journeys, and I haven't rated it yet, but yeah, create yourself, calm the mind. So 21-day programs and things like that. I did find there was sort of like a little bit of glitches. I think they could be fixed now, just to do with some of it. But you've got down the bottom, journeys, movies, meditate, affirm, feed, and profile. So if I click into movies, and you'll find I've got a few here that I've created. So one was the Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat. So you guys know that's actually happening now. So I've just taken lots of little quotes, lots of little snippets, and made a little movie from it. So let me play that one for you. You can hear there's music as well. Oops. Hold on a sec, guys. It's just glitched. So I ended up manifesting one better than the Texas retreat. Anyway, so you sort of get a feel for it. And there's other ones that you can create. So if you're wanting to create like a feeling of feeling amazing or feeling wellness, I've got other ones that I've just put, you know, photos, because I'm also doing like a bit of a fitness journey at the same time. So I've got some old photos of myself with affirmations over the top. But you can also hear the music in the background. And then I've got, you know, a lot to do with like food and things like that on there. So healthy inspiration. But what happens if you're watching this sort of thing daily? It locks it in and actually becomes a big part of your reality. You know how they talk about TV actually being programming? So what we're doing is we're utilizing that same technology, but we're programming things that we want for ourselves as well. And thank you guys for contributing your beautiful energy to the show. Okay, so let's have a look what else I wanted to show you guys. Oh, there is also this one, just to give you another option. So that was the Manifesty app that we just looked at. And I will show you there is something else actually before I move away from that one. Let me just bring up this screen. Okay, so within the Manifesty app too, you'll also find that there is a feed, And with this, you create sort of like your own Instagram inspiration. So with this, instead of like scrolling through or doom scrolling for that dopamine hit, you create your own little vision boards and dopamine hits. So let me see if I've got one. Okay, this one I can share. I don't want to share all of them, but this one is a Soul Alchemy Potions one. And you'll look here that it's got myself, my little empire, and the potions and things like that. So you can even break it up and put affirmations in between if you like as well. And let me see. Oh, yeah. So I do have the 2 channels. So there's Soul Alchemy Potions, because I'm looking at eventually having maybe just some manifestation stuff when the channel's bigger, just on that, and then doing some of the other shows. So it really depends on the audience. But yeah, so the other window that I wanted to show you guys is, let me just close this off. I think Lyra might be about to join us. You coming over? Hello. All right, so this is another one, and I think this might be an Australian one too. So there's a few different, I guess, affirmation, manifestation type people that have used mind movies for years. I think I first heard about them, might have been around 10 years ago. I know a lot of people that utilize The Secret. Remember that documentary by the Australian lady as well? Must be something about us Australians into manifestation. But yeah, you can see here, it'll have a bit more of the science and everything to do with it. I prefer the Manifesty app. Go with like whatever you prefer. You can make your own mind movies in Canva. So you don't have to actually use a paid app. And let me just bring up my little notes, because I just want to make sure we're covering everything. So examples of people that have created mind movies. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to be something that you're watching. It definitely is more powerful, and I find I get much faster results when I create something like that. So think about something that you want to create, what it is that you're working around. Yeah, for me so far this year, I could tick that Dr. Joe Dispenza one off. And there's a couple of other things that I could tick off, some of the other ones that are like more private. So yeah, they really do work. So what I've got written here, Jim Carrey. So he's a great example of someone who visualized his success before it happened. So I think it was a check that he wrote himself for acting. And I think it was like rendered acting services, $10 million. And I think he actually achieved that when he got the mask, but he would like keep that check in his wallet. He would like see it, feel it, because this is really about immersing all of your senses as much as you can. And I can see Alessio Emma is saying, mine might be old school, paper and pen. So mine was for years as well. And then when I really learned the science behind the reticular activating system in our brain, this is the best way that you can really utilize a much faster technique to soak it in. Because when we put it in pen and paper, it is good to lock it in with your feeling and with the rhythm. But I also like to go that one step further. Have a play around with it. I too was just, into pen and paper and making the actual, cut out magazines and print out photos and stick them on for years and years. But definitely I've noticed a difference with the mind movie, because you're locking in the sound, you're locking in the vision. There's something about it coming through a screen that they've even found when they've done studies to do with children learning. So if you place a teacher in the classroom, now I'm not advocating for this, if you place a teacher in the classroom, kids won't actually soak in and retain as much information as what they would perhaps watching it as content on YouTube. So you could have the teacher saying the same thing. There's something about it coming through a screen. So even though it's not necessarily technology that we're all happy with, this is where we can use it to hack our brain. So it's a really positive one in this situation. And yeah, Lyra's just on my knee. I don't know if you can see her purring away. Probably see some of my cables. I've had to move things around. So also Neville Goddard. So Neville Goddard, who Law of Assumption work is based on, he actually talks about the ladder technique. Now, with the ladder technique, what he talks about is creating a shift within 3 nights. So with him, he would go to sleep at night, or before going to sleep, he would visualize feeling and touching and that sensation of his muscles and arms and body climbing a ladder. So he would do this every night for 3 nights. And then what would happen, and what he would tell his students, is that then that would lead to doing it in the physical. So sure enough, a lot of people have reported that for some weird reason, maybe their elderly mother called them and they've had to get up on a ladder and, go look at a drain pipe or something, or the guttering. So this is a really interesting one that he really talks about, starting with that. And Jose Silva also does a lot of visualization work. So remember, imagination is creation, and it's also a muscle that we utilize not only with clairvoyance and with my teachings for how to see auras and how to activate your clairvoyance and things. We want to make this muscle strong for manifestation too. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, probably the biggest modern day one. Hey, Jake. The modern day one that we see talking about, visualization. And he really talks about getting out of the familiar, or getting out of the body. So utilize that to boost your mind movies as well. So you want to make sure you've got binaural beats in the background, that you're in a state. And that's why I'm saying, like, working with the potions as well while you're doing it, you're going to be locking it in on a physical level. So say if you've linked a song that's one of your favorite songs that has emotional connection and meaning to you, and you link or tie that in with your mind movie, which you could do on Canva, that just has so much more power. For if you're playing that song, it's to build that emotion and get you into that feeling. She is a bit special. Oh, and by the way, she just had her birthday through the week, so she got like a little cat food birthday cake that my son did, which was cute. So Rhonda Byrne is someone else that I've put down, who she was the Australian lady who created the Secret documentary. The thing that I feel is missing from that is the law of assumption. I feel that that helps to elevate and take it so much further, rather than kind of like a wishing type feeling. Because when we're wishing or we're wanting, we're actually telling our brain that we don't have. So with the mind movies, I want you to tap in and create as much feeling as you can. And I might show you another one of mine, maybe towards the end. So yeah, Rhonda Byrne also would create visualizations or lock that feeling in. I think hers was more to get out of a financial situation, was what sort of spurred her on to research and go down that rabbit hole. John Assaraf, who was also featured in The Secret, he does a lot of other work. He does work to do with reprogramming your brain. So he's more in the business entrepreneurial space when it comes to manifestation as well. Thank you, guys. She appreciates it. She got very spoiled. So yeah, so he's one that really will demonstrate that power of how he used his visualization. And if you remember back to the documentary, The Secret, what he had was a vision board. And I remember him talking about when he moved into his new house, he pulled out this giant cork board that had, his pictures on it. And it was the exact house on the cork board that he'd moved into a few years later. So this stuff really does work. It is about taking action. Of course, we're not just in that state of wishing and hoping. It's about taking action too. But Gabrielle Bernstein is another one. She's also featured, has a little clip on the Mind Movies website as well. So she really talks about in some of her books, really seeing and visualizing it, incorporating that to attract more of a positive outcome too. And let me see what else I've written. So the way that it works, it's more, a mind movie will help you passively manifest. So it's not where you're really putting a lot of energy and a lot of, oh, I'm psychically trying to visualize holding that in my mind. You're actually more in an absorption, and that's that right side and the music and things will calm that left side so our creative can just soak it in. So yeah, it's exactly like watching TV, which, believe it or not, the brain goes into a state of hypnosis. And that's why doing a mind movie instead of just pen and paper really will elevate your experience. So this helps to create and cultivate a positive, empowered mindset, and you'll feel it. You might be having like a really crappy day. You come and put your mind movie on and it shifts that state. If you're having a really, really crappy day, do the tapping as well, or do one of my meditations that I have to help sort of release some of that charge. Maybe do the timeline shifting one, which is one that my best friend and I were doing to really like hold good prayers, good intentions, and see like the sun come out and people enjoy and celebration with the hurricanes recently. So we did that just a couple of days ago. It was a really powerful one for shifting. But yeah, what we also have written down here, so it definitely helps to empower your mindset. You'll find that it sticks you back to your focus and clarity around the situation. So it really just helps to crystallize your vision, remind you of your goals that are setting. And if you're anything like me and many other neurodivergents, it's so easy to be distracted. So it keeps your attention and focus. The other thing too is that it just helps you identify the steps that you need to take. So in watching this, what you find is you have subconsciously or your higher self will drop in and give you the steps that you need to take in order to make this come into reality a lot faster. So it's more because you've got it up here that it's like a reminder. So it also enhances your motivation, because every time you're tapping into, whether it's the Instagram like feed that you can create. So I also do that I've got an iPhone. I don't know what it's like on Android, but if you create, and screensavers, this was just a cute girly one that I thought really was just like a really good vision that matched manifestation that I was working with. So the other thing too is you can make your own photo album. So if you don't want to create a mind movie, you can actually just create a photo folder on your phone. So I've got ones for like health inspiration, and I've got heaps of my smoothie photos on there and beautiful soul bowls, whether they're sweet or savory, that I've made. And I've got folders like that for inspiration and photos of when I was like in a more fitter place. And that helps to keep me accountable to my goals too. So this will enhance your motivation, whether doing it through photo folder or mind movie. Mind movie's still that bit better than a photo one. That was a crystal. So yeah, you'll get a stronger emotional release as well. So this is engaging your mind with the mind movie. It's just going to provide that connection emotionally. So you want to be feeling it as you're looking at it, not just sort of, oh yeah, I'm just watching like photos of, what I want. You want to be feeling it and turning the volume up on your emotion at the same time. So this is also helping you to attract new opportunities, because what you're doing is that heart energy, that emotion, that vibration is vibrating out into the quantum. And so this is where you begin to attract the new opportunities or amazing gifts and, soulmate connections, so many things you can choose. You can literally work on bringing anything in. So with the science sort of side of it as well, remember we talked about at the start of the show, and I just want to re-bring this up, that it takes commitment. So you want to be doing it morning and night, or if you set an alarm on your phone to maybe do it again at lunchtime, just whatever works for you, or like when you've got a break. So with this as well, let me just see where I'm at. So yeah, you're going to be forming new neural pathways when it comes to how your brain is uptaking this. You're also going to be overriding the reticular activating system. So one way that this helps is the reticular activating system doesn't really realize the difference between like a memory that hasn't happened yet. So you could be programming this in with the thought of this has already happened. This is like I'm rewatching something that's already come into being. And this is why I love the mind movie aspect. So yeah, it also enhances that dopamine hit that we're getting and that serotonin, like good feeling. If you're really creating it really well, you can get a few kind of little chemical dopamine hits from watching your own stuff rather than scrolling aimlessly on whatever pops up or whatever they're trying to program with on social media. This is also why it's important to only follow things that lift you up and are inspirational or that add value, add meaning to your life, because it would be the exact same thing as like just turning the news on and watching that 24/7, and that programs us. So really choose like what it is that you're programming as well. So Rainbow Sun is saying, love the Mind Movie application, not great at journaling. It can be hard. And Amy Rose is saying, visualizing and feeling intention and music in the Mind Movie is a full focus, multidimensional energy blast into the quantum field to manifest. I think coupled with the action, of course, definitely. That's so true. And that's why I also say, you know, working with potions that are also alchemically linked to your manifestation, you're just adding that multidimensional layer as well. Not only that, this helps provide like deeper relaxation, so you're more pliable to suggestion. And I can see Rainbow Sun. Oh, I keep a Word document with inspirational photos and quotes. Yeah, so whatever works for you guys. I just love it in that this is literally making a movie. And it's one of those things you can set an alarm on the Manifesty app and it says, hey, remember to play that Mind Movie. Because if you're anything like me, it's you just get so busy through the day that you forget to do things. And yeah, it's an exercise for your mind, definitely. So this also helps you to get an alignment, like you're creating this beautiful creative expression that you're feeling akin to, but it helps you to get aligned with this as well. So when we come into alignment, we're really looking at coming into a coherent brainwave, coherent energy. So you're matching the frequency. So I would be careful on choosing things that bring up a feeling or an emotion of where you're like, oh, it's not possible that that can happen. So you want to be picking things that make your heart swell with joy and make you feel open to the emotion and make you feel excited. I know when I've had situations and when it has been hard to get out of Australia, like last year, it wasn't quite time for things to open up and I was able to travel. Without having to have the specific requirements that were needed, I was visualizing holding my ticket on on the plane, and I was like feeling the joy. I was hearing the sound of like the wheels come up, feeling the energy of like the people around me, and then feeling the touchdown and this like sense of like just I did it. And sure enough, like when I actually hopped on the plane, I didn't realize, but the ticket that I had was the same ticket, the colors and symbol that I'd visualized. Because sometimes like you set it and forget it. So yeah, have a look. It's good to have that check back in. And I forgot that I had actually put things in my mind movies that came into being for this year as well. Yeah, definitely. Make it into a video. So Canva is really easy. You can type in video in Canva and it will also let you create one. You'll find also that there's some, because you don't have to have just photos of you. It can be photos that are inspiring. There's a lot of YouTube videos on how to make the Canva ones too. And I don't want anyone to feel scared or overwhelmed by this. It should be fun. So you're learning a new skill in making this. But if you want one that's like ready to go, also on the Manifesty app, they have ones that are already pre-made. So there's ones on like beautiful retreats and things like that. So yeah, it is fun to explore. I think they have like a free trial as well that you guys can utilize, and then you could cancel it. So a few other options. And Ken, such a great point. So Helen had our cell. I can't say her name, but I know exactly who you mean. She's the one also connected with Jose Silva's work. The woman who won every contest she entered used this technique. She did. So she manifested winning a house. She manifested winning multiple holidays. And you can go and actually watch some of her videos on YouTube where she's talking, and she's someone that you would just want to sit and talk to. She's like a beautiful sort of grandmother type energy. So with Emma, she's saying, would you recommend not being exact, i.e. leave a little room for the universe to give you something better? Definitely. So sometimes, we can get too restrictive on it has to like manifest in this way. Hey, Ben. Hey, Jody. So yeah, with mine, I had the Dr. Joe Dispenza event. I originally just put the Texas one up. I'm actually going to one in Florida. So yeah, with that, It didn't manifest exactly the way that I wanted, but good news, it has manifested like 10 times better. So, yeah, my best friend John and I were going. We can't wait. We're so excited. And it's even better than I could have imagined. So, you can put it out there, even sort of psychically, for this or something better to happen or unfold. And let me just answer this one. So, Amy Rose is saying, so Rita, when you visualize and feeling using your sense to manifest, how long do you hold it for? So I've heard certain people say that you want to hold it for at least 17 seconds. With some of the mind movies, they go for around a minute to like 3.5 minutes. So it just depends. And if you're like tech savvy, you could make one that you project onto your TV. So you can be sitting down rather than just looking at it on your phone. That'd probably be even better. But definitely have a look at Manifesty, which we had up on the show screen earlier. I think you might just be popping in, Jody. So Manifesty is my absolute favorite. It is one that I pay for. It's $99 a year, but it is fully worth it. It is that good. And it just, a lot of the other apps were either a little bit sort of older, whereas this one's like fresh. It feels good. It feels clean. It's very visually like beautiful, which is important to me. Good morning, Ben. And let me see if there is any. Yeah, you could make it a screensaver. So you could have it just playing in the background too. And essentially, if you could have it on a few devices, it'd be really, really good. So let me just jump back over. So regular exposure to watching your mind movie is helping you overcome limiting belief systems. So we can do all of the prayer and all of the other things in conjunction with it, or you could actually just use the mind movie too. So I like to be sort of more in a calmer state, but sometimes if I'm in a state of overwhelm, it pulls me back into like realignment too. So don't feel that you have to necessarily be in this like kind of like oneness state to do this. So the steps to create your mind movie: set your intention and clearly define your goals and your desires and what it is that you want to manifest in your life. This is where I would say get specific. But as we were just saying, you don't want to be like, it has to happen in this specific order, or it has to. So, say, for example, like I've heard people talk about, wanting to manifest their dream job. And I think we've used this example of Dr. Joe's son on the show before too, in that he didn't find his dream job on a job listing. It actually came through bumping into someone in a store, and they mentioned they were looking for, a designer or an engineer to help with things. So don't feel that you have to lock it in with it coming this way. The same with love. I feel like sometimes, and I was just seeing statistics the other day to do with the stats. And it was to do with, I think, Jason Harrington, who's been on my channel as well. He posted it, and it was looking at the stats for like in love or relationships where we used to meet people, and where it used to be introductions through a friend, neighbor, maybe perhaps like a dance or a party or things like that. It's now totally flipped upside down to where most people are meeting online. Now, what that's changed in terms of like our brain and society, what he was talking about too was that women are perhaps like feeling a little bit more comfortable on not being approached in the physical, but I still am a romantic. I like the old world, crossing of paths and meeting and connection in the physical. So this is where you might be creating a mind movie, and you might be putting it out there that, oh, I'm going to meet the love of my life on an app. Why not open it up to the possibility of the universe actually guiding you to perhaps, meet someone at a retreat, meet someone, in the grocery store. It really, I want you guys to sort of leave the details, like get specific, get like where you're looking at, like what it is that you want, but then leave the details up to the universe. So this is kind of like where you have to catch and release, so to speak. Hey, Lynn, lovely to see you here. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Rainbow Sun. So I didn't know there was a Microsoft video maker on Mac. We also have iMovie as well. Thank you. So the other thing, so we've set your intentions, gather your visual. So I go into my favorites on my phone, and I'll select. So say I'm doing one to do with like family, I'll go in and get like beautiful pics of the kids, and then I'll put like what kind of reality I want to create with family stuff. Or, I'll go into my favorite pics of my smoothies and my food and my potions, and I'll do one based on health. So I like to break mine up. And I sometimes will do a mind movie for the year. So I went back on my one that I made for last year, vision board wise, and I'm like, oh, that happened, that happened, that happened. So it is good to go back over, a few months after you've made them, because we forget what we put up. So get your pics. I like to also pop in quotes. So that's the thing that the Manifesty app also utilizes, in that you have the quotes that also you can embed or choose to have. I have them pop up over every picture because it stays up long enough, or some of them are a little bit shorter, but you can read the affirmation at the same time. So it's another sensory engagement. Choose your music. So you don't want something that's got negative programming or connotations. You want something that has an uplifting feel. So I do love binaural beats, but I also like the music on the Manifesty app because it's a bit more sort of like uplifting, opening, sunshine type feeling. Create a storyboard too. So outline sort of how you want it to be. So I like my affirmations to match the pictures or the images. So say if it's a healthy food photo, I also want to be like, I feel so alive eating this way. My whole body feels electric, things like that. Whereas if you're doing one for love, you want a manifestation and affirmation around love. So we already talked about sort of what software and things you can do. Making sure you add your affirmations to it. And you can do this really easily on Canva, and I'm sure some of the other apps. You can also adjust the timing. Another way you could do this with, what's available to us is you could also do, go into Instagram Reels, and you know how it's got templates, and just put your photos in. You can put the music in with it, overlay your affirmations. And you can even change, like say you want one photo to appear longer, it's really easy to do that in an Instagram reel, then save it to your device. If you're not able to save it with the music, because sometimes it won't let you, just screen record it. This is about utilizing what we've got. But essentially, I want you guys today, after this show, to go and make your first mind movie. Because remember, it is about taking action. We can talk about it till the cows come home, as we say over here. I think you guys say that expression too. And then you want to go in, and after you've done like the timing, the transitions, everything like that, and you can really keep it just simple. But yeah, review, you can revise it if there's something you want to delete or take out, and then you want to save it. I also sometimes will export it, or sometimes I've even made mind movies that you can send to a friend too. So it just, yeah, or you can make one for your family or one for you and your partner. It's just, this is so much potential, like with this thing. The other thing that is the most important is to watch regularly, as we said. So does anyone have any questions? I think we've pretty much covered everything that I had written on my list. And let me just, I don't need to bring that up again, but yeah, I did put up the app at the start of the show. What I will bring up is, oh, and I've got, for those of you tuning in for my show on Friday night, which is my Saturday morning, Barry Littleton is going to be on, and we're going to be talking about, our aura. We're going to be talking about bioenergetics. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let me just see. So this is one that I've popped to do with home. Oh, it's got the same photo. And you'll see here, this is my ideal home studio. Nice pink couch, what a surprise. Crystals around, things like that. Then I've got just like, property pics and things like that. And just like little visions to do with, things that like inspire. So sort of like a rainforesty type feel, which is not too dissimilar to, the greenery that's around me right now. And let me see if there was another thing. Oh, and you can see here, there's like a little alarm to schedule custom affirmations too. So let me just pop up if there's another mind movie. This was more of a generic one, I think. So if I go into here and then, so you'll see here, it's music with images, just to give you an idea. And there's a whole heap of other ones in there, but yeah, go and check it out. And I just want to remind you guys that we also don't have long, like we're coming towards the, it does look like Queensland. I think it was New South Wales, but pretty close to Queensland. Good guess, Ben. And I can see someone saying, I create mind movies on The Voice. Is that, oh, yeah, you can also do like little voice records. You can make ones where you put it as an affirmation overlay for meditation and things too. I am thinking about, because I've been trying to nut out the technology for doing an 8-hour one, like a meditation to put up for while we sleep. But yeah, it's so much fun. And yeah, the Instagram one's really easy. If you just want to have a play around it and you can like delete it. But yeah, this is going to be an incredible show with Barry. So please make sure to tune in. This is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time on Friday night. Oh, cute. Yeah, I'm sure we probably have a few of the same things, Rainbow Sun. So remember, 66 days. So let's get started. Let's create our manifestation photos and our little movies, our little mind movies, because I would love to check back in. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I love Byron. Tweed's beautiful as well. So the other thing is, if you are wanting to order this, so it takes about a week in Australia, sometimes like 2-3 days. I think it's about 2 weeks in the States, so it won't. Oh, if you ordered for Halloween, it'd probably make it. So you could be using I Am That Witch to utilize that Halloween magic. But yeah, just wanted to remind you guys, and do remember to please hit that thumbs up. Share this out to someone you think that really a mind movie could help them stay on track and focus. And voice memo. Yeah, I do that too. So they're really good to listen to while you fall asleep. So you can record your affirmations and then visualize as you've got your eyes closed. So thank you for that tip. That is a great one that I have utilized in the past. I'm so visual though. Like it elevates it. So please try it. All right. Well, I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to doing some mystical oracle readings on the weekend. You guys take care of each other. Bye.